Okay, hey everybody, happy Sunday to you. Going to be doing QuickSilver from the SilverHawks here. Going to be going live here. You may hear some background noise. I've got a neighbor that's doing some rehab, which is cool by me. I don't care. Gonna knock out this video here. And there's my share with the page. So we're good to go. Now, this is QuickSilver from the SilverHawks. And if you don't know this guy, he is a 1980s cartoon character from the same company that created the Thundercats, Tiger Sharks, and a couple of other famous heroes from that time. And this is absolutely one of my favorite series. Have them all on DVD, have all their comic books and all that stuff. Just great stuff. Basically, they're cybernetic police. Okay, they volunteered. They're the best of their time in the future. They volunteered to stop the villain that's in the series, and got super enhanced with biomechanical armor. And this particular character is the leader of the team, and I'm going to be drawing them all, by the way, over the next few days. And then I'm going to go into the next series that I have set up, and I'm not going to reveal that one right now because I want to surprise you. But yeah, this is going to be very cool. This is going to be a very clean outline because of the fact that it's going to be metal. So I'm not going to go into great detail here, shading all this in. I'm just going to get the dynamic from the musculature and go from there, because I don't want to do a bunch of shading and all that to cut into it. So I'm doing this late in the evening because I took a much needed reprieve for a few hours today, and got out and checked some stuff out and whatnot, and got out in the city a little bit. Now, I am doing the circular thing that I am always against. I am doing the circular thing here because I want to shade that in really solid and smooth. And like I said, if you hear that, if you're just coming on and you hear that that noise next door, that is my neighbor. He's doing some tile work, and they're rehabbing the house next door so it can be sold. And yeah, that's going on. But it's all good. They're very nice people, and they're quiet most of the time. And he's doing it. It's like 7 p.m. here, and he's doing it into the early evening, and then he'll stop and go inside. He doesn't go too late at all. I have no problem with it. Very nice guy. He even asked if it was going to bother me or not, and I told him, I said, nah, go ahead, man, do your thing. But anyway, it is what it is, so that'll work. But anyway, as far as this character goes, there are let me see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in the primary team, and then they added a couple of characters later, which I just learned the names of the characters right before the show, and you would, wouldn't you believe it, I forgot their names, because I've only seen them once in the series itself, and I have them on DVD, and I'd seen them years ago, but like I said, it was only one time, so I didn't follow through with their names like I normally do with the comic stuff. However, I did catch a faux pas when I watched the what was it? The Atom. When I watched that one back, and then I watched Starman, I noticed that I called Mr. Terrific Mr. Fantastic, and I was I want to stand corrected on that because it's the wrong character. You go looking for it. They made him into. I made a mention of a character getting transformed into the new Mr. Terrific for a little bit, and that's what I was talking about. Because I got asked about it off air, and I was just like, what did I say? And I had to go back and check it, and yeah, I said Mr. Fantastic instead. Whoops. But hey, I'm human. It happens. Sorry. Hate to bust the bubble, but it is what it is. So anyway, yeah, this character is one of those 80s cartoons that I was just really hooked into. When everybody else was into G.I. Joe and whatnot, I was into the fantasy stuff and the sci-fi stuff. I loved the Thundercats cartoon. I loved the Tiger Sharks cartoon, and got hooked into those. The Filmation stuff. I watched the replays of the old Hanna-Barbera heroes and was just godsmacked by those things, and absolutely loved them. When they reintroduced those toys in the late 80s, early 90s, I just went ballistic. I just lost my marbles and had to get those things collected up, and now they were lost in storage, unfortunately, years ago, and sold off with a bunch of childhood stuff. So I had to, not that I lost the storage building, it's just I moved off out of state, and it got a family member sold the stuff off, and he shall not be named. Not dumping my business on air, but yeah, that's one of those things that just happens. I mean, everybody's got stories like that where they've lost or dealt with stuff that they've lost. I mean, it's just material stuff. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, I had all of these things and have been looking for them for years to replace my set, and I have not yet done so. And I know it's geeky, but like I said, that's my thing, and that's my one vice, is I collect certain things, and that is one of them. I collect classic toys like that, and it's not a big collection, just key things like this that really resonate with my childhood, and this is one of them. But I would love to see them make this series come back. However, the problem is that the way they did the manga and anime version of the new Thundercats, I'm not really digging it. If they're going to go that way with the studio rights being all under one roof, I really hope that they don't do that. They did a really great job with the He-Man revamp, but this whole new thing with the Thundercats being anime and the story being changed and modernized, I'm just not feeling it. The original story worked very well, and I don't think they should have messed with it. And call me a purist, yes, I may be, but in this case, that's one of those things I don't think they should have played with it and gotten all of that taken care of from a side note. So, I don't think they should have messed with that. But anyway, you can't really tell from the way stuff's going on what they're going to do. They've hinted that they were going to do the Tiger Sharks as well, but they haven't come across any of it other than a couple of hints in the new Thundercat show. So who knows? They made a couple of cameos in, I think it was season 1, that there are other beings out there, and they hinted at the Tiger Sharks and showed a couple of them and went from there. But we'll see how it goes. It could be fun. I would like to see them do it. But as long as it's done like they did He-Man, where it's really high quality and sticks to the original genre, I think it'll be fine. If they start monkeying with it too much, I think it's going to mess it up just like it did for the Thundercats, which is now, I believe, off air. I'm pretty sure that they're gone now. That's a bummer, but it is what it is. So, hopefully they'll revamp it and bring it back to the original form. I know that the original is back in syndication in an anniversary re-release on a couple of different things. And they did the same thing with Ghostbusters here recently, the original Ghostbusters. And with the rumors of the movie flying around, I'm pretty impressed with it. I hope they do that. But, we have to wait and see, just like anything else, as with all these things. We have to wait and see what's going on. I've heard a just dumbfounding number of rumors about that series for years, but we'll never know until it actually happens. But last I heard, Ryan Reynolds is actually in talks because Fox was saying they had the rights to it, and then a couple of others are saying they have the rights to it. But we'll see because of the distribution being up in the air. I think it's a Fox distribution thing, but I don't think that they have the rights to it yet. We'll see. The Cartoon Network still has control over the rights to the Thundercats. I mean, to the Thundercats. So we'll have to see what happens. But I would love to see this as a film. I think it would be great. Yeah, Alfred, I know, man. I'm one of those type of people. I want to see what's going to happen with it, but we'll have to wait, man. I don't know what's going to come of it. It's so up in the air right now, and with DC getting the rights to the Hanna-Barbera stuff, and then liquidating it to go out to IDW for freelanced comics and stuff, and then doing that whole Hanna-Barbera Hero Quest or whatever they did there for a while. I don't know. I think it's a little odd to me what they're going to do with it. It depends on who has the license and what they do with it. I personally think Fox would do good with this one because they do a lot of good sci-fi stuff, but short of the Fantastic Four fiasco. They've been doing really good and got a rhythm with the later X-Men films, and then of course the latest Deadpool films coming up. That stuff's looking really good, man. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it just depends on who has the rights for it and how they work it out in live action syndication, because I personally would like to see the guys from the effects guys from Pacific Rim to do the Robotech and new armor for the SilverHawks, if at all, because that would be phenomenal. But you never know. I mean, like I said, these guys it's a dime a dozen, grain of salt type stuff. You never know till it's actually out and you see the previews, and then everybody screams like fangirls, and it's just bad. But it is what it is. So I'm drawing in these rib segments on the side here through the obliques. I know that looks a little weird, but in the original cartoons, they had side plates for the rib cage, and then the obliques came out of the bottom of it, and it was almost like a ribbon type of deal. But they made them so graceful in the fact that they made the characters solid silver plating rather than biometrical and mechanical. But that first episode, it was kind of like watching the $1 billion man, and I say $1 billion because he's not, he wouldn't make it much for $1 million now. But anyway, the $1 million man stuff, when they did the surgery scenes and whatnot, when they were fixing him, that's kind of what they did with the cartoon for the SilverHawks. They showed them going into surgery and the operation tables and all that mess, and the specialists coming in, and yeah, I mean, everybody had already done up their stuff, and the twins were the last two to go in right before QuickSilver as the final, and that's pretty intense stuff. I mean, you can YouTube it and see that promo, that pilot episode, and the whole thing's online. They're going to be re-releasing the DVD set here pretty quick. I've got the entire set of the DVDs, so I watched them, I guess, a year or so back, and now I've got to pull them back out because I'm going to be working on this series the next couple of days, and I want to get everybody, in tune and right and whatnot and on point and make sure it all works out the way it's supposed to. But I like my style being clean because it gives these effects without muddying it up with a bunch of blacks, and it looks really good on metal. I'm very happy to say that it's coming out just swimmingly, as Mr. Rob Liefeld would say. And yes, whether you hate him, love him, whatever, I am a fan of the dude. I don't go by his artwork, but I am a fan of his stuff. I just don't have any influences into it, except for the action sequences. Some of my fight scenes will be pretty intense because of that. Because he has some of the best fights in comics, whether you like him or not. You know, whether you're a fan of his style. I'm trying to walk this thing all over the place here and keep it in camera, and then I end up looking over and I'm like halfway up the. So sorry about that, but hey Jay, glad you made it, man. But yeah, I use a lot of Rob's influence in the fight scenes that I draw, and it's because he went so large scale with everything. You know, his fight scenes are massive, and I mean, it just feels like it's just supposed to be that way. And a lot of people have tried to imitate it and, you know, to take advantage of it in their own way. And I mean, it's a signature thing, and he's got it down pat. And you either like it or you don't. And I've incorporated a lot of that into my stuff. But I'll tell you, I am more into, personally, I'm into a lot of the old John Byrne type fight stuff from the Hulk and whatnot. Because if you remember that stuff, when he was in the various books that he was doing, he especially in She-Hulk, some of the most graceful fights ever in comics. And it was just phenomenal the way they did it. And those guys just nailed that stuff. You know, who was it? Jerry, oh goodness. Jerry Ordway, thank you very much. He used to draw and write like that. And, you know, a lot of people don't know that he did both, but he used to do a lot of artwork as well as writing. And back in the early days, he used to do a lot of mob books and police stories and crime noir. And I tell you, man, that stuff is just phenomenal. If you can find the old stuff with he and Jack Kirby, where they knocked that stuff out, it was just nuts. Let's see here. I'm trying to tone this, like I said, without overdoing it. I just want to add a little texture here and there without milking it to death. That was funny. I got messaged just now that Big Brother's on, and some people are like, "You're interrupting Big Brother, man. Come on." That's funny. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm going to thicken up that line there to make that pop just a little. And you guys are going to have to tell me which one of the villains you want to see, because I'm going to do the SilverHawks, but then I want to see which one of the villains you guys want. I mean, do you want Monstar? Do you want which ones do you guys like the most? I mean, what do you want to see? You got to let me know. That way I can knock it out for you, because I want to add this collection where it's complete, because this is card number 124 in the series. I cannot believe that it's gone that long and that far. You guys are awesome, because I only do this because you guys keep coming back. I mean, if you weren't here and didn't do this, I wouldn't be doing it. So, you know, thank you very much for that. I appreciate the support. Also, check out the behind-the-scenes stuff over at my Patreon. I'll have to put up the link so that you guys can get booked in, because I got asked about that yesterday and forgot to post the link. Just one of those things, man. But yeah, I got some stuff going on back there, some behind-the-scene videos of me talking about the new stuff coming out and showing some insider stuff for the pages that you guys will get a first look at that nobody else will get. And you get to see some of the cool stuff that I keep talking about with these books and stuff. So we'll go from there. But anyway, more about that later when you guys check out the links and stuff. If so, no obligation. No obligation, no force, no purchase. So you can sign up and select whichever one you want and whatnot and go from there. But like I said, I'm not forcing anyone to subscribe to get access to this stuff. If you want it and you want to follow, awesome. I appreciate it. If not, then that's fine too. No hard feelings. I'll still be here doing cards, just like always. But, yeah. I think that this almost has it. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and put in a couple of these things. Like I said, I don't want to mess with this too much. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some old school metal marks in here so that we can get some shading just a little. That's funny. Going to put a few highlights in here. Just going to move it around a little. Like I said, with modern coloring, though, we've got to keep this simple. Because I don't want it to look overworked like the like some of the Iron Man stuff used to. I mean, that was just horrible when they would overwork that, and it would just look bad. This is his. All of the characters had these belt things. It was like a belt buckle built into the bottom abdomen right there. That bottom set of the 6-pack, and they always had that little buckle. But their communication came from right here and from their wrist. But hey, it is what it is. So this is going to be nice. Even if I do say so myself, I'm going to enjoy this one. I've seen this done, and I've seen it overworked to death. And like I said, I don't want to do that. There we go. I think that works out just peachy. I'm going to put in a little bit of a drop shadow right here, because that is a separate piece from his mask that drops down and connects, and it looks like the beak because it extends out just a little bit off of his jawline. But I don't want it to look like an open mouth, so I'm not going to black it out, because that would make it look goofy. But I've seen people do that, and it makes it look weird. Don't do that. So anyway, there we have it. I'm going to leave him right there and say we're done. That is QuickSilver from the SilverHawks. He is the first one to come up from the set. I will be doing the team. And I'll see about adding the new ones. I'll do some research on it tonight and see if I can add the new ones as well, because there's a couple of new ones that got added right at the end of the series. I think it was in the 3rd season. Whichever one the last one was, 3rd or 4th season. There were a couple of new characters that added on, and different armors and things like that, and it really ramped it up because they were getting new action figures and trying to do multicultural things. They did the same thing with the Centurions in 84 and 85, right before this series started coming up in 86, and they came out with a couple of different Native American. They came out with African American. They came out with a couple of other different cultures to try to mix it up, so it wasn't all white folks. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, we'll talk about that more some other time, though, as we go on through the week. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Catch you tomorrow with another one. Take care.